It's that time again. Well, hi to everyone. Hi to everyone. Hi to everyone. My name is Sai, and this is the Real Talk Show. Haven't been with you for a while because I haven't been too fantastic. But you know what? The Lord is still good, and His mercies endure forever. Bless the Lord. Now, before we move on, we need to give the Lord thanks and praise for all that He's done, all that He's doing, all that He's going to do, that He will protect His people, keep His people, shield His people, heal His people, and all that good and lovely stuff. Healing is the children's bread. Yes, it is. So now, what we have, I have a few prayer requests, and first one is to my Mr. Producer, who sadly lost his brother recently in the funerals on Monday, and to all the Thor family, and may the Lord continue to look after them, keep them in their time of mourning. And I want to also recognise Mother McCalla once again. That lady, she had her birthday the other day. I think she was 94, but she had her birthday the other day, and she was on Sparkle Time. You know that NetB has started up her own TV channel, and that is on, I think it's 182, but don't quote me on that. But it's called Sparkle Time, and that's a GX TV, and on Sky, no less. And Mother McCalla is on there in all her glory, talking about all the good stuff of her life and everything. And you really have to admire that woman, because she's been through the mire, you know, lost her husband, lost her eldest daughter, well, her only daughter, then her eldest child, and she's still going strong. So we give God glory. We did have some more prayer requests, but I'm probably going to have to do those at the end, because I want to bring on a gentleman. I think that is housekeeping. Mr. Producer, is that housekeeping over and done with? I can't remember. It's been such a long time. It's been a few months, but anyway, we're going to go into our interview. Now, the interview is with a gentleman I've known since 2006, and he has been exceptionally important where my accident in particular has been concerned, because he's been coming along with another lady from my church called Sister Bernard, not the Sister Bernard that's coming on now, Sister Angela Bernard, and giving me Lord's Supper, you know, because Lord's Supper is it says, as oft as you do this sacrament. Oh, bless the Lord. And he's been coming once a month and been doing Lord's Supper with me. So I'm extremely grateful to him. And so let's bring, we need a tambourine, don't we? We bend down and get one. Oh, yes. Rest for the Lord. Oh. Yes. They're going to bring on now. He said he's not into titles, so I'm just going to call him Roger Thompson. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, bless the Lord. Hallelujah. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. If I knew you was going to bring a tambourine out, I'd have brought mine out as well and banged it with you. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Looking as well as ever?
Well, you know what? It's so, I'm not going to say crazy, because that's not the word we want to use where the Lord is concerned. But I mean, so many people tell me that I look well, and inside I'm feeling like I'm dragging myself through the hedge backwards, you know. And so the Lord doesn't allow it to show. But I'm giving God thanks, because I've just hauled myself into this chair this evening.
Yeah.
To get on time. But yeah, I'm going to say with faith, yes, I'm good with faith. I'm good. That's what I'm expecting. And how's the family?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be saying that, because that's going to be one of my questions. No, don't want to get into that.
I shall see you up then.
So are you ready for me, sir?
Well, am I ever ready for you, sir? I don't know. You're going to start throwing some punches at me, you know what I'm saying? So No, sorry. No, well, yeah, sorry. Now you've said that, you're implying that they're normally a different colour.
No, they just look very bright on the camera. That's all they're picking up.
You know what? I'll tell you what it is. Because I went to Jamaica and the skin tanned. Maybe the teeth are
What is that? What are you
glowing a
gonna
little
call
bit more.
it?
That's probably what it is. Unless it's the Colgate.
Oh, pick up the Colgate then. Oh, bless the Lord. So we're going to go into our first question. So here we go. Let's get straight into it. You're here to talk about welcoming others. Oh, before I go any further, who we have here that's just popped on the screen is Joy Leah Barnard, and she's going to be sign language. That's sign languaging, doing sign language, and she is very involved in the awareness day that you're going to be talking about tonight, and that's the main reason why you're on tonight. So that is Joy. Oh, what's all these coming up on my screen? Right. So we're here to talk about Welcoming Others Day. Have I got that right? Okay.
Welcome others, yeah.
Welcome Others Day. But before we get into that, let's talk a bit about you.
Oh,
Who is Roger Thompson? Who do you stand for? What do you stand for, and according to you?
Well, I'm Roger Thompson. What do I stand for? Well, I hope that I stand for the right, really. I hope that if two people were in dispute, I hope that I can hear both sides of the argument without just jumping on one side. I hope that just being there for people and understanding and hearing their issues and concerns and problems and things like that, and trying my best to support and advise. I mean, I always say to people that sometimes it's not always wise to take on somebody else's advice, because you end up acting out the advice they gave you, but that's not your nature.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You act out what somebody else has told you to do or said to you to do. You kind of then can't respond if somebody comes back to you and says, well, now you've said this, how about this? And then suddenly you're stuck because that wasn't really your response. So I hope I'm there. I hope I'm somebody that stands for the right, but like I say, can hear both sides of any argument that's going on and deliberate between the two,
Just now. Bless the
Still
Lord.
got me.
Okay, right. So personal life, married, children, not married, no children.
Oh, I'm very married for the last 20. I think it's going to be 27 years on the 22nd of July. Okay. I hope that's correct, or else Sharon will be beating me tonight. I've got 4 children, and because I'm equal opportunities kind of a person, Si, I made sure I had 2 boys and 2 girls. So, Rihanna is the eldest. She's 26. Well, yeah, just gone 26.
Is she 26 now?
26, just gone the 11th of May.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big old man.
Yeah.
And then Darian, 24.
Wow.
Brent's 23.
No
and
way.
Perry Ross, he's 20, and he'll be 21, believe it or not, in September. Can't believe it. I don't know where the time's gone, but everybody's grown up and they're all, give God thanks, they're all doing what they want to do at this moment in time. They're all either working. Perry Ross is at college doing an electrical course, but he's got a part-time job at one of these fast food restaurants, Nando's.
Well done, that man, because you don't depend on mommy and daddy all the time.
Make them work. And Brent's a teaching assistant and supports children who need a bit more support. Maybe around their, not bad kids, but just their behaviour sometimes might, step out of line. Sometimes you just need somebody to bring them in line, and he's there to support that. And Darian works for a magistrate, and she's in enjoying that. And Rihanna also is a teaching assistant at a primary school. And
wow.
Sharon worked for that a charity in Warsaw, which is called the Black Sisters. I'm sure, Si, you're very much aware of, and she's worked there on and off for the last 20 years, I think, or so. So everybody's doing their thing. Yeah, everybody's, we give God thanks for another day.
Yes, we do, we do. And I just want to mention also to the viewers that your two daughters won awards at the GX Awards ceremony last September.
That's right.
Would you like to just say what they won awards for?
I would, but I can't remember. No, I'm kidding. No, no, right. Well,
let me see if I can cast my mind back. I think
Deacon is
community project. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I forgot my glasses.
Rihanna did a lot of work in the community, and obviously, I mean, the big thing about Rihanna's award for her was where she was coming from. So Rihanna's born with a heart disease, transposition of the greater arteries when she was born. So she's come a long way in then, even though she was in hospital for a period of time, came out and fundraised for a number of events and raised a lot of money for those events. I can't remember now. You tested me now because I can't remember all the events that she put on, but I think it is at least 3. I'm sure Sharon will be like, she raised a lot of funds,
money.
some other disability groups, which was really, really positive. And the family and friends, loads of friends and stuff, supported that. And then Darian, is for her poultry. Darian writes poetry, and she's been doing that for a while now. So so they both won awards for their individual skills and talents.
Individual skills and talents.
You must say after me.
Thank you very much. I think, is that your lovely wife sending a message into you?
Yes.
I can't read.
It says Rihanna was a community project and Darian was for the spoken word.
See?
I told you. What did I just say to you, Si? I bet Sharon's going to be sending me a message and look.
That's your lovely wife. Bless her. Love her to bits. Okay. So, what did you want to be when you grew up? School days. What did you want to be?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I think when I'm trying to think back, as a mere infant growing up in these schools that we had to go to in the 70s, I think my first kind of a job was probably a policeman. I think as a really small child, a policeman. And then I remember as I grew up, I did at one point as well, really, and this was when I was a bit older now, I think, when I was probably early secondary school, maybe late junior school, to be a fireman. But I kept thinking, I'm a bit scared of heights, and that kind of put me off. I didn't kind of follow that thing. So I thought, well, you can't be a fireman and kind of be scared of heights. So maybe I think that's why.
Only you.
I got knocked on the head. But I think those were at that age anyway. That's what I kind of wanted to be. And then obviously later on, I decided I wanted to be an electrician. And when I left school in 1985 and thought, you know what, I'm going to be an electrician. I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do. I see others in those kind of fields and kind of inspired to see what they did, and just thought, well, I think I could do that. But then I remember thinking when I was enrolling on the course, I thought, gosh, well, I'll tell you what happened. When we enrolled on the course in Warsaw College, they ran 2 courses together. One was electrical installation, and the other one was TV servicing, which was electronics, basically.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, so basically for the first 2 years of college, I had the opportunity to do these 2 courses which was great because as I was doing the TV servicing, I realised that, well, if I'm repairing TVs, I'm in a building, I'm going to be warm inside. But if I'm an electrician, I'm going to be on a building site and it's going to be really cold. So I thought, I'm not going to bother being an electrician. I thought I'll be an electronics engineer. So I switched. After I did the 2 years of both courses, I decided to carry on with my electronics, which, I mean, electronics is very difficult. It's a lot of maths. Well, there's a lot of maths involved with them, but yeah, I carried on with my electronics and did that. So that's what I went into initially.
And was it the right choice?
You know, sometimes, and I'm only thinking about that kind of choice now because of where I am now. I probably wished I'd carry on with my electrical course, maybe. I think, yeah, because only that. I mean, when I was doing electronics, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but I didn't probably grasp it as much as I would have grasped the electrical side of things. I mean, when I was doing electronics, TV servicing, you may remember those big old cathode ray tubes, those big fat TVs that they used to buy at Curry's or Dixon's.
Yes.
Well, the TVs I started training on, they had what we call valves in these valve TV. So they used to light up in the back of your TV.
Yes, I do remember that actually.
Even the cathode ray tube is a massive light bulb or valve that you can see the light in. And so it was quite easy to repair those because if the valve went, you just pulled one, desoldered it and put a new one in. And then things changed and it moved into these, what we call transistor radios or transistor TVs. And then time moved on, you get microchips and stuff like that. But even back when I was learning about televisions, you know, they even then told us that, in a few years, you're going to have a flat screen television. It's going to be against the wall. Well, yeah, we heard it, but we were working on these big fat TVs, you know. You actually didn't see that, but we had a mindset that that is actually going to come into play. And it did, and it has. So the reason why I say looking back is because I went into electronics. For the first 10 years, I did electronics. Whilst I was training though, I got a job in, do you remember Wimpy? Fast food?
Yes, I do remember Wimpy. Construction.
Well, I was the man in Warsaw, you know, come on over to my place. I'm having a Wimpy, that one.
Yeah.
I worked in Wimpy, Warsaw from 86. I think I left once and came back, but I worked there from 1986 up until about 92. I finished college about, I think, I don't know, 90, 91, something like that. But I got a job where I worked in Redditch with a company called, at the time, it was called Harry Moss. Moss Alarms, Moss Security. There was loads of them about. Everybody had a Moss alarm. Everybody had a Moss security alarm system on their house or a Moss in their car. And then the company changed its name to Audio Line, which was the same company. And a lot of people had Audio Line telephones, Audio Line stereos. It was a big organization back in those days when you used to fit car stereos into your car, not like this modern era.
Yes, car stereos. Now it's coming back to me.
Yeah, you know, I used to snatch them out because you didn't want someone to steal it.
Yes,
put it underneath your seat. That kind of stuff. So I worked on that, but I used to repair telephone answering machines then. And coming on to some of the stuff that I started going into, we used to have a chap. His name was my namesake. His name was John Thompson. And this was about 1989 when I started in Audio Line. He used to bring the work down to us from Goods In. So he'd bring me a box of telephone customers repairs I had to fix. Now, he was deaf. He was profoundly deaf. And I always had an interest to work with deaf people. So when he used to bring the work down, the other guys used to write stuff on paper to communicate with him. I used to say to him, come on, teach me some sign language, teach me some sign. And he taught me the alphabet. Now, when I used to So when I used to communicate with him, I used to finger spell everything to him, and he kind of put me in good stead because later on, I decided to go and take myself off to college on my own stead and do my BSL level 1 at Walsall Deaf Centre, and later on do my level 2 and other things. But I stayed in electronics up until 96. I mean, you know what? Amazingly, and this is only God. I mean, I got made redundant 4 times, but I was never out of work. It was a strange, it's a strange thing. And every time I got another job, I ended up although I never wanted to be and actively seeked to be a manager, I was always, for some reason, I ended up being in charge of people or departments or something. And so a lot of times when I was an electronics engineer, a lot of the guys used to come to me for, "Oh, Roger, how do you sort this out? How do you do this?" And it followed me. It followed me because I decided in 96 that I was going to have a career change. I thought, I'm going to come out of electronics. I'm going to leave. I'm going to come out. I'm going to go and work with deaf people. But really, I didn't really have an understanding of deaf people. I just thought if you're deaf, you needed somebody to help you. But wasn't really the case, and I soon learned that as time went on. So I decided in 96 I'm coming out of electronics, and I went into care. Not me personally, as a job.
Okay.
Yeah. So I moved on from there, and I can keep going. So I'll continue to talk about my career.
Right. At this point,
yeah,
we should bring in Joy, and Joy, if you keep signing, but would like you to also answer. How did you get into signing? What made you come into that?
I started just a short course in sign language. I just had a real interest for deaf people, similar to Roger. I just loved language, loved the culture. I was always just interested, and I just started a course at the university in 97, deaf studies, with the plan to become a social worker linked to deaf people. And then I changed my mind and went into interpreting.
Okay. Mr. Producer, could you please kindly put up the flyer for the Awareness Day? I keep forgetting the Welcoming Others Day. Have you got it there? Right then, Joy or Roger, if you would like to just take us through that quite quickly before we move on, please.
Okay. Well, the Welcoming Others Day, as you can see, it's on the 11th of June. It starts at 9 a.m. sharp until 4 p.m. Basically, the day consists of people having a better understanding around deaf awareness. So somebody who's deaf, some of their issues and concerns that they may have when they come into your place of worship. And as the day moves on, we want to also include people with other disabilities as well, not just people who are deaf, but there may be a physical disability or an unseen disability that somebody has. And it's important that when we welcome people into our places of worship, that we are open and have a clear understanding how we support them. We're going to make mistakes. It's about learning from our mistakes. So what we're trying to do as a group is kind of bring as much as we can to the forefront and hopefully help a lot of churches who may have people coming into their place of worship to ensure that they have the right support or working towards it. And also an understanding that, I worked for the National Deaf Blind organisation called Sense, and some of the people that I supported, they make a lot of noise, and sometimes there are people who come into our churches and make a lot of noise, and some people get upset by it. But what we all have to understand is that it's called welcoming others because these people are still God's children as well.
Yeah,
and God loves them. God loves them just as much as me, you, Si, Joy, Rob. He loves them just the same way, and they have got the same right to enter God's house and sit there. And for me, anyway, personally, I know some people won't like it, but for me, they want to. If they sit there and make as much noise, because they can't control their noise, we have no idea why they're making that noise. But I remember back in Elder Brown in Warsaw Church, when I used to work on shift, I used to bring some of the guys I support to church. You sit at the back and they'd make some noise, but they'd be fine. And then once you see them, if they get a bit too restless because they get bored, you just come on, then guys, let's go home. So me and a member of staff would bring them to church.
Yeah,
no, it's fantastic. So it's all that really bringing that kind of stuff to the forefront. So we're openly enabling and giving people the tools to them to kind of deal with some of the stuff that they may have, and also people coming in with mental health problems as well. So it's a wide range of people. It's not always going to be somebody dressed like me, dressed like you, Si, like Joy, like Rob, just walks into the church and we're all happy to receive them, and it's quite straightforward. We are all, every now and then we're going to meet people who aren't the convention that we normally see. So we've got to be geared up for that, want to be geared up for that, and do the best we can. So yeah, that's what it's in its basic format. That's what it's about. So we want as many people who are welcomers, who are greeters, who support people in their churches to come along, learn. I mean, the event's free. There's no charge to it. It's free. It's a free event to come. I mean, the only thing I would say, people like myself and Joy and others, we're all volunteers. Everything that we do is we're volunteers. That's even comes from the group that Joy leads, which is the communications team for Bethel on the national level. We're all volunteers. When we go and sign at a meeting or an event, we're not getting paid for that. We're volunteering. So the only thing I would suggest, or not suggest, hope for anybody coming along, bring a little donation. I'm not saying to bring loads of money, just a little donation to help with some of the things that we're trying to do, because some of the stuff that we can't get around, some things we sometimes have to pay for. But a little donation would be fantastic if anybody does come to the event. I hope as many people come to the event as can. I mean, I'm saying it's for welcoming greeters, but really, it's for anybody, really, because, we're all welcomers and we're all greeters in a way, because, you might go and have a conversation with somebody who may be deaf, who may have a hearing loss, and just some tips on how to communicate with that person. And we're not always talking about profoundly deaf people who somebody's born congenitally deaf and uses sign language. Sometimes it's people who've acquired hearing loss, and that could be through age. It could be through a disease they had, some medication they've taken. It could be through even working in a place of work where they've worked with a lot of noise. And for some people, some of the sides of hearing loss is tinnitus as well. So tinnitus is that sometimes people get a sound in their ear and they just can't get rid of it. And for some people, it's some people it's a killer. Some people take their own lives. So yeah, really important that it'll be really key and really interesting for as much people who can make the event. You're more than everybody's welcome.
Yeah, bless the Lord. I have to say that at the beginning of the year, after our dear sister Joan Hall's homegoing celebration, I got sinusitis, which went down in my throat and then travelled up into my ear. And for probably about 3.5 months, I couldn't hear out my left ear. It was awful. And then being a singer as well, you need to be able to hear yourself. So I was going out to tune and all sorts. And I couldn't come and do the show because I couldn't hear properly, and that was just with the one ear. And it was so off-putting just with the one ear. So, I really have to take my hat off to these folk who have full hearing loss, to be in a world where you have no sound whatsoever, or, maybe able to hear a bit of sound. The Lord has given us all our senses to be able to communicate with each other. So not hearing people or not being able to lip read or, the sign language, it must be really difficult. So you're right. People coming to church and they feel that everybody should be perfect, and it doesn't go that way. We've got people who have got problems, health issues. He's talked about mental health issues. Yeah, because certain illnesses can turn people a bit loopy. And I'm not being derogatory when I'm saying loopy, because that's how I was feeling at one stage, thinking, why can I not hear out of this ear? I'm putting olive oil down it, soaking a bit of water and anything. What on earth is going on with this ear? So it is this is great work. I was so interested in what you're doing when I saw this flyer wing its way to my WhatsApp. I thought, oh, this is something interesting that we could look into. It'd be my first show back, because it's what kept me off the show in the first place.
That's
Joy,
great,
my dear. Yeah, I mean, not many people knew WoW wasn't on for so many months. But Joy, my dear, what can one expect on that day? Because I don't suppose that you're just going to be signing. Well, what else can we expect on that day?
And we will be starting with deaf awareness. So a deaf professional will be coming in, a Christian herself from London. She'll be coming in and actually doing deaf awareness, really interactive. But we've got a spectrum. So after that, we'll have discussions, just feedback, and then we'll be talking about lots of different additional needs. Parents who have raised their children and felt that the church didn't have anything to offer their children. How can we change that? Adults who have felt a bit isolated because of their experiences, and professionals, a lady who is a higher level teaching assistant, and she works specifically with children who have got additional needs, autism, ADHD. Some have their life expectancy has been shortened because of illness, but they are still in education. And she wants to talk about what resources, how do we support children who could be in our churches. So the whole day is really it's really about empowering. We don't want anyone to leave and feel, oh, I don't know anything. We want to share. So we'll have a lot of discussion and really empower each other. That's what we hope. Yeah,
I'm sure it's going to be excellent. I'm going to try and see. Is it going to be streamed? Is it going to be streamed? Or I know you've actually got a venue, but is it going to be streamed live for others to see?
I think it's going via Zoom. There'll be a Zoom only part of the day. Though I think it's only the deaf awareness section that's going to be we'll be able to have Zoom access to. Okay. You'll correct me on that, but yeah, I believe it's just the Zoom section. Yeah.
Okay, all right then. Mr. Producer, could you just put that flyer back up again for me, please? Because I really want everyone to see that. Lovely. Okay. So, Roger, would you just like to? Oh yeah, would you like to just take us through what you can see on the screen right now? Hold that one there, Mr. Producer.
If you want to register for the day, if you go on to Eventbrite, which is a normal conduit for people when they're going to book themselves onto a course or onto a session in the workplace as well, it's usually through Eventbrite. It's exactly the same system. All you do, you book in there, it'll ask you how many tickets you want. And it'll tell you it's free as well. And all you do is click that, put your name, it'll ask you for your name and some other details. Click that, and that's it. You're good to go. We'll have that detail on the day to know that you've got a ticket and you've booked in. So if anybody has any issues or problems, there's a number on the flyer that you can contact as well. So please do make contact with that number. You can send a text through. Yeah, wonderful. And somebody will respond.
Wonderful. So is this the first of its kind that is being held in the West Midlands area?
It's the first of this kind that's going out. However, and so I think it might be before COVID again, Joy. I know you're signing, but the team did a deaf awareness on. Actually, we did it on I think it was on Zoom. I think. Unfortunately, it wasn't well received, or not many people came to that. That was put on specifically, though. That was more directed towards the Bethel churches, where, to be honest with you, really, I think we're quite happy to work with anybody, really. That particular death awareness was specifically for Bethel, but this is for anybody. Anybody can access this. This is, we aren't a group or a team with walls in. We're open and accessible. So even if you can't make that day, but you want to ask for advice or support, we're more than happy to give that. I mean, let me also just add as well. So you were talking about people with hearing loss. I mean, because I work for the RNID, which is the Royal National Institute for Deaf People, and if people want to check their hearing, see how good or bad it is, there's a hearing checker online. It only takes about 3 minutes, but it'll give you some clarification or some levels to where your hearing is, and it'll indicate it'll say to you at the end, go visit your GP. You need to go to audiology and get your hearing assessed properly. And the thing about that is, a lot of people just think that hearing loss is just, it's just my ears, it's bad. I mean, it could just be wax in your ear, but also it could be something more serious as well. I mean, it's known that people have tumors growing in their brain. That's why you've got hearing loss. So it's quite an important thing. It's quite an important health check to have done. So I'd encourage people, the RNID website, if you just put onto Google RNID, it'll come up RNID. Just go onto the website and click on hearing check and get your ears tested. Like I say, it takes 3 minutes, but it'll really help you in regards to your health and your awareness around hearing, which a lot of us take for granted and don't really take seriously. So for some reason I can't hear you. Can you hear me, Si? I mean, yeah. We can't hear you. Do you want to write something in the chat? Okay. Okay, so the fly's back up again. It's about welcoming Others Day. And like we've said, to register, just go onto Eventbrite, order as many tickets as you need to, and then you'll be registered for the event. And so we will look forward to seeing you all on the 11th of June. Got some issues with the sound for Christine, so we'll just wait for it to come back. Hopefully it'll be sorted soon. Now yourself, I could see.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now, yeah, and see you.
Oh, praise the Lord. Huh? Well, what on earth is going on? Bless the Lord, anyhow. Obviously,
Never
I'm not
mind.
going to be able to ask all the questions that I wanted to do, but that would mean that you'll have to come back on again. And we can have you
Part
coming
2.
back on after the show, after the event, and you can let us know how it went. How's that for you?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure Joy will want to join me on that as well.
Yes, absolutely. I just wanted to ask for you, give us one message that you'd like to leave with everybody. First of all, Joy, one message that you'd like to leave with everybody, please.
Oh, hard one. One message. I would say what we've talked about recently. The title says welcoming others, and really, we're all others. We all were separated from God. We
Yeah.
all needed access. We all have a disability because none of us could reach God, and that is for me the heart of the day. That we're all exactly the same from God's point of view. We all need Him. So that's really what we want to support, and that everybody can learn something. Our hearts can learn something about how to support somebody else. It doesn't matter who.
Absolutely. And the same question to you, Roger. Please.
Yeah, well, my response is, look, treat others really how you really would like to be treated. And if you do that in life, you really can't go too far wrong with someone if you're treating them how you would like to be treated, or how you'd like to see your loved ones treated. If we can follow that same mental in life, that'd be a good thing.
Brilliant. I know you said earlier that it wasn't very well attended. How are you promoting and advertising this event this time round?
Well, one, you've invited me on your show to promote it.
Yes.
which was unexpected. But we the team have been they've done flyers, they've done other ways, different social media, Facebook, and all those other activities, and by connecting into other groups as well, they're disseminating the message out there that this is on. So social medias, like I said, like WhatsApp, just by sending out that same flyer to everyone. I think what we did for the other event probably wasn't like this, but that, I suppose that's because that event was probably more so for a specific group or organization, as it were.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But the other thing is, it's how seriously, to be honest with you, so it's how seriously you take, because what we're trying to do, it's not a glamour ministry. We're not musicians. We're not singers. We don't read poetry. We're not dancers. Well, I don't know. We do a bit of body popping. So because it's not seen as a ministry on par with other ministries, then some people don't really see it as important. And what we've got to do, and what we're trying to do, is raise that, to say to people, look, it's not about us, but it's about the people that come into your church, that that they need your attention just like everybody else. So it's about us kind of raising the awareness of disabilities across churches and in churches, and like we said already, hopefully enabling people to have the tools. We're not going to be able to go to Ipswich and do the thing for them, but if people come to us, we can give you the tools at least to start you off. And the other thing is, you already be doing some really good stuff in your local church. So we take our hats off to you if that's the case. That's fantastic. All we want to do is try to steer people and encourage that, and hopefully kind of light a fire for this kind of to go forward. So yeah.
Well, I have to say, I think upon joining Bethel in 2006, Bethel was the only church that I saw that people were doing sign language. And in fact, that they had the person standing right at the front, sometimes on the stage, signing. And, I thought that was really fantastic. I haven't really seen it elsewhere, probably on one tele-evangelism.
Can you hear me, Si? Your sound's gone.
But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. As I said, if it wasn't for the fact that I've met deaf people and spoken with them through someone signing for me. It wasn't for the fact that I had this ear infection and I couldn't hear out this left ear, and it was driving me absolutely doolally. I have a higher appreciation for someone that can't hear now, and that's why I would like to attend if I can't come physically, then I shall be watching. And it's a shame really, because if someone doesn't have that, has gone through that, or have found people in their family or their friends that have are deaf or other disabilities, they don't really want to know. And it's not that they're being horrible, it's just that's not their part of their world. You know what I mean?
It's correct. And I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's about, if you've experienced it, you can appreciate what somebody's going through. If you've got somebody in your family, or if it's you can appreciate what the issues are around, whether it's a physical disability, a hearing loss, a sensory loss. You can appreciate that. Until you kind of get that, you can't, like you say, it's not no fault of anybody. We're not blaming anybody. That's just the way life is. Just to support that, I remember when my first job working at Sense, I didn't realise that group of people that I was working with, these people were deaf, blind, learning disabilities, mental health, challenging behaviour. They actually existed. I didn't know this group of people existed. So I was ignorant to that until I worked in those flats and worked and supported those people. I was ignorant to that. So it's the same concept. If you're not aware of it, you're ignorant to the issues, what people face.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm sure it's going to move on from glory to glory to glory, and I'm just hoping people will bring their purses and wallets and really dig deep for this event, because you're not charging to attend.
No.
As I remember. Yeah. And I always love that. I mean, people in the Christendom have to pay for nearly everything. Don't we? We have to pay for the records, we have to pay for the books, we have to pay to get in, we have to pay for everything. So let's have some freebies.
Free, this is free.
Allow people to just give from the bottom of their hearts what the Lord allows us to give.
Definitely.
So,
definitely.
Joy and Roger, I have to thank you so very, very much for coming on tonight at such short notice. It's been great, and I'm sure the viewers have enjoyed watching you, and even with you, Joy, signing all the way through. It's absolutely magnificent. It's really wonderful to see it actually. I know that you can have letters, but you can have complete words with one shape, can't you?
That's right.
Is that the way to say it? I'm really a novice at this. But it's really wonderful to see. Right. I might have you coming back on again, through some of my interviews, and just signing if you've got the time.
Well, so if you have us back on, you'll need to speak to myself and Joy, and one of the other teams will come on and do the signing. How's that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a fantastic idea. We should do that. So, Mr. Producer, if you would care to just put that flyer back up just one more time. I know we've been putting it up, but it is really about this event.
All the information is at the bottom of the screen, Si.
It's at the bottom of the screen?
Yes.
Well, I haven't got my glasses, Mr. Producer. So how am I able to see that? Otherwise, if you would care to just read that for me at the bottom of the screen, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you read what's at the bottom of the screen?
Oh, you're talking to me. Sorry,
Yes,
sorry,
yes,
Christine.
yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Yeah, so evenbright.co.uk, welcoming Others Day, or use code 347764160967. I'll repeat that very quickly. Evenbright.co.uk, welcoming Others Day, or use code 347764160967.
Oh, bless the Lord, bless the Lord. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to go on to read some prayer requests. But until that time, Brother Roger, Sister Joy, thank you so very much.
Thanks for having us, Joy.
Christine,
Sorry, I
on
should
the
say.
Field Talk Show. Would
Yeah.
you like to just give your closing statements and then we will move on?
Yeah, no, I just want to thank you for allowing us to come on and promote the event in this fashion. It's a first, and hopefully, like you've just said, it won't be a last. And we'll look forward to coming back and giving you an update on how the event went. And let's hope and pray that either way. Let's hope and pray it's a positive one, whatever happens. But we thank you for this opportunity. Much appreciated from myself and the team.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Well, see you. You can say bye to everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, bless the Lord. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
All right, Mr. Producer, if you just want to put me in the center of the screen, thank you. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Joy. Okay, right. So we've come to the end of the show. I do apologize for the little mishap in the middle. I had to jump out and jump back in again. Now, I just wanted to ask for prayer for my pastor's grandson, Josiah, who's not very well. And I'd like to ask for prayer for our brother Charles, who we've been praying for quite a long time at the Woman to Woman prayer group. He was induced into a coma. He had to go through so many different things, all because he's a Jehovah's Witness and he wouldn't allow them to give him normal blood. And the Lord has been very faithful. He's come a mighty long way. He's able to now talk with nurses. They had written him off because they kept saying, oh, we can't do this because of the blood. We can't do that because of the blood. But, he kept to his faith. And so we give God thanks and praise for that. And with that, I just want to say thank you, everyone. And I will see you again. We